you had a big momentum. I mean, you've been in a continual state of momentum, but a lot of your momentum, as you talk about your story in shaping, was when you were in a theater called is it called the Mermaid?
Mermaid, yeah.
So it's called the Mermaid Theater. It's had about 600 people, so roughly around JDD, a little bit bigger than that. But that's where they went to 7 services. That, to a lot of people, like in what we all do, which is church life, and we're trying to build the kingdom of God, is what you'd call holy momentum, which most people think that's what they want. They're like, I want to be a part of something like that. And most people live their whole life trying to get momentum. When you have momentum, you think you'll always have it. When you don't have momentum, you think you'll never get it back. It's a life cycle of momentum. And there's probably messages on both sides. For this moment, because I think our church is in momentum, and I never really heard a lot of teaching or thinking on this, but what are the challenges of momentum, and particularly, what are the challenges of a staff or the core team that's a part of that? What are some things that we need to be aware of in here to protect that, to steward that?
Okay, so this is where the challenge. So if you got to remember where momentum comes from. All right, the momentum doesn't come from the froth and bubble stuff, right? It sort of drives it, but you get what I mean by the froth and bubble, the excitement, the buzz, and all of that. Now that drives it, but you got to. It's what creates the froth and bubble is the thing that. Froth and bubble is not a very good word, but I can't.
We don't use it much over here. And,
but you get what I'm trying to say.
Design district.
In other words, the visual. Yeah. This is what it all looks like, right? So it's what creates that is the most important thing. And what tends to happen in all the buzz and the excitement and the awe and the whatever God words you want to have to it, what you find yourself doing is slowly but surely you start ignoring what actually created it in the first place. And you start to lose diligence in the fundamentals of what you did, how you did it, how well you did it. You still do it with the same excellence. It's not like, oh, we don't have to pay as much attention to that now because it's all working.
Wow.
And all of that. And slowly but surely, if you're not careful, what that does is, one, it actually stops what creates the momentum. And two, what it does is it then begins to add a whole lot of stress to you, because underneath all of this, it's not working. Yeah. So now you get stressed out, which means because you get stressed out, what you do when you're stressed out is you shrink things so that you can contain things. Because if you can contain it, it's less stress. Because remember, we're control freaks by nature, human beings, right? So if I can get in control, so how do I get in control? I shrink it.
I personally think I struggle with that.
Right? Yeah, and
I don't want to shrink anything, but that would probably be that'd be a pitfall for me right there, that if I can't see it and understand everything.
Yeah, and it's like, I've got to get this in, I've got to contain this. And the reason you got there is because you stopped doing what you were doing that got you where you were in the first place, right? So if I go back to, I used to train horses and teach people how to train horses and all of that. And the key to training is you have some fundamentals, and you take a horse, you say you're with the horse, say it's an hour in its training. You do a certain amount of warm up, then you do a certain amount of, we're just going to go over what we know. And then you introduce in the last part something new. And the something new is a build on what it already knows. All right, and then you just cool the horse down, he remembers the new, and slowly but surely you just keep progressing along the way. Yeah. Now, what I discovered with people that would come to me, and when I was training, is they come to me and they're let's call it, they're up here, their level, and they've got a problem with the horse. It's not performing at this level how it needs to. And I would say to them, I'd go, well, just get on the horse, and I'd say, just ride it around for 3 minutes and I'll just watch. Now, to someone who's riding at this level, say, you're going to watch me for 3 minutes and you're going to tell me what's wrong with my horse. I haven't even showed you where the problem is. Because they're looking for the problem up here, but the problem's not up here, the problem's down here.
That's great.
All right? And so they would think, I don't know what I'm doing, because they want to show me the top class, because that's where the problem is, and I want to have a look at some basics. So the reason I say 3 minutes is because you can usually tell within about 30 seconds what has been neglected, forgotten, or no attention's been paid to it in the horse's training. So if you bring the horse back to this and just work on this, it fixes this, and you don't even touch it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so sometimes when it comes to the things that I've noticed with us, the moment we hit these points, and you just hit them, they're like ceilings that you've got to break through, where no longer is just excitement good enough. It's just not working anymore. Not even goodwill is not good enough anymore. All of that, it's like we have moved away from some of the fundamental things that we established that produced it. And so when it's all getting stressy, it's come back to what are the fundamentals we've started ignoring